JFM, the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this morning. Well, every now and then I get the opportunity to interview some pretty amazing people. And I love that I get to do this because the artists you hear on the radio, lots of times you look at them like, well, they've got it all together. They've got everything figured out. And the more I've learned as I've been in this industry in Christian radio is these people are people just like you and me. And I love to find these artists that grew up right here in Alabama, and I found one. Ever since I saw this guy start charting, I got excited. I'm like, this guy, I want to talk with him. His song, Yes I Am, has been amazing. It's been so much fun. Actually, I ran a question here on the show earlier on, beginning of summer, asking what's the song of the summer? And honestly, I think Yes I Am has been that song because it's just one that makes you get up and move. But enough of me talking. Let's talk to Christian Paul. I'm bringing him in right now. We're live on the socials and we're live on the radio. Good morning, Christian. How are you, sir?
Good morning, man. It's a privilege to be on with you today. Thanks for having me.
Oh, hey, the pleasure is all mine. Ever since I found out that you were out there making music and the soul in your voice, I'm like, yes, we got to talk with this guy. I can hear a lot of vocal trills. I can tell, man, you're really into the vocal side of this. Makes a lot of sense. But a lot of people don't know you grew up right here in Alabama. So tell us a little bit about young Christian Paul, would you?
Yeah, man. So, I was born and raised in South Alabama, Andalusia. Some of my earliest memories are of my dad sitting me in his lap in front of his desktop back when, LimeWire and FrostWire were a thing. And he would just play me hundreds of downloaded songs that he had. and most of them were old soul songs, soul R&B, anywhere from, 60s, 70s soul to early 2000s R&B.
Wow.
And so hearing, if I could say it this way, just the excellence of these vocalists, particularly in the soul R&B genre, and the control and the strength that they had in their vocals, that really inspired me from a young age.
Yeah. I know it's taken a lot of practice too, because those vocal trills, they don't come natural to a lot of people. There's a lot of practice that goes into that, and you do it so well. But,
oh man, the Lord has been very kind. When I first started singing, I really couldn't sing that well. So it has been many years of sitting at a piano and singing scales and trying to imitate singers that I appreciate.
Nice. I know there are some people listening right now who maybe they're thinking about music as a career. They're thinking about this could be my life. I love singing and I want to do it for Jesus, and there can really be a career there. And you're kind of in the middle of that right now. Now, it took you a little while, I think, to get here. I know that you had a little experience with a boy band early on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. As a middle schooler, probably 12, 13, you could catch me in my math class making these sketches, drawing these sketches of, this boy band I was dreaming up. So actually, I got recruited as like the first member of this group, that was going to be based in Orlando. And I helped them put the group together. So I was in that for about 2 years, and that didn't work out. And then I ended up moving to Jacksonville, Florida. Let me back up. I moved from Andalusia, Alabama, to Orlando, to Los Angeles, all for the boy band. And then it just didn't work out. So I moved to Jacksonville, Florida after that.
Gotcha. All right. And I think I followed some people over on Facebook. I think I found your mom. I was really doing some heavy, deep research to find how to get in contact with you. So that is cool. So Jacksonville's a part of your story as well. But Los Angeles, man, that had to have been a crazy difference from Andalusia, Alabama.
Wildly different.
Yeah.
Those were difficult times as a 15-year-old. I was not with my parents There was really no real parental authority. I was an unbeliever, and the people that were surrounding me were all unbelievers as well. So at that point, as you can imagine, with 15 being even a very a very formative year in one's life, I am realizing kind of sinful passions that were lying dormant, and perhaps given an outlet to indulge them.
Yeah.
In ways that maybe other 15-year-olds did not. And so it wasn't until I had come back to Jacksonville, maybe 4 or 5 years later, I'd say 4.5 years later, as a 19-year-old, that I actually heard the gospel for the first time. And the Lord ended up raising me to life in Christ, granting me saving knowledge of Him.
Wow. Changed your world, huh?
That's right. That's right.
It's amazing when He gets a hold of your heart, what kind of work He does in it. And now you find yourself with all of these musical influences, these soul singers, and a little bit of an experience with the boy band. You got this taste of the music industry, and here you are, you just met Jesus, and now you're like, hey, I think I can do all that. I think I can put this together for Him. Let's dive into that a little deeper. Right after I play your song here. Yes, I Am by Christian Paul. Now, we're live right now on the socials, so if you have questions, go on over there and let us know. Chat with us in the comments. But let me play this song, and we'll be right back with Christian Paul right after. But here it is. Yes, I Am.
Hallelujah. Say.
All right, man, that's live on the radio. We're just on the socials now.
Sweet.
Yeah. Man.
So when you say we're on socials,
yeah.
Is that like Instagram Live, Facebook Live?
We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter Live right now.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah,
That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah, I've got this little switcher set up in the studio that lets us go live to these different platforms while we're live on the radio, and it's really been a blast to watch people interact. Plus,
Nice.
It's great because people can always go back and share it after the fact, you know?
Right.
Like I was
That
saying
is so cool.
earlier, I couldn't find very much about your background. I even some of the people on your team, I'm like, hey, where did he grow up? And one of them's like, well, I know Alabama, but then Jacksonville. But I was like, what school did he go to? You know, stuff like that, because you need to know the small town stuff. But I couldn't find any of that. So people are going to find it out right here.
Yeah, dude. So my real last name is Wasilek, Wossilek. So if you look up Christian Wasilek, you'll see some Andalusia Star News articles, you know, and maybe some other Alabama related stuff. But you know, I actually at 12 won an Alabama statewide singing competition. That was kind of how I got my confidence to pursue music as a career.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. It's those formative years. It's kind of testing the waters a little bit, seeing, hey, am I good at this? Am I not good at this? Some people would clam up, but it takes a lot to get on a stage in front of a bunch of people and sing. I mean, it's hard just to talk, but much less sing, and that's huge. Yeah. So, hey, I think maybe we need to dive into what you've been up to lately. I know the nuptials that just happened.
Yeah.
Your lovely bride. And
Totally.
maybe we talk a little bit about what it's been like being with Crowder on stage. I saw you were kind of doing some stuff with him, so we're going to jump into all that.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, cool. We got 35 seconds.
Okay.
And let me check these socials, see if anything's going on over here. Sometimes it's hard to monitor it during the interview, but I try my best. So let's check it out real quick. We got 22 seconds.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, where are you in relation to Andalusia?
So we're in Gunnersville, Alabama. You know where Huntsville and Birmingham are?
Yeah.
Kind of between there, but to the east. So, yep.
Okay.
North Alabama.
Now, do you guys reach Huntsville?
We do. We reach Huntsville. We reach the 7 surrounding counties around us here in Marshall County. All right, we're going to hop back over live, okay?
Cool.
All right, so we're learning more about Christian Paul right here on the Lifeline Morning Show, and he's learning a little more about us here at the radio station, too. And I'm telling you, it's been a blast so far finding out what has really inspired him to start this career in Christian music? Because, I mean, we were just talking about during the break how he kind of got his start with this singing competition in Alabama, and that gave him the confidence to keep going, and it's gotten him now to where he is. And I've been following you on the socials, Christian. I noticed you've been doing some work with Crowder.
Yeah, man. No, that's been amazing. Just getting to follow him around on the road. So I've done 3 shows with him thus far, and have a handful kind of spread out throughout the rest of the year. But my wife and I pack a minivan full of our merch boxes and music equipment.
Yeah.
And this last trip, I think we drove 2,800 miles.
Wow, it's a lot of driving.
Yeah, doing shows, but it's been so much fun, and it's been a privilege to get to do it alongside my bride.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That just happened recently, didn't it?
It did, yep, June 10th.
Wow, man. So it's been, now I imagine she's just been so supportive. Like you said, she's been going with you on these trips, making sure everything's taken care of. What's it like to have that support system there, to have that partner in crime as you're going around this nation singing for Jesus?
Yeah, I mean, I think of the account of the Lord creating Eve and giving her to Adam, and just the description there of this is a helper suitable, and truly that is what Ty is. I mean, in God's grace and kindness toward me, He has given me someone whom He has skilled and made strong in so many of the areas where I just have blind spots and am weak, and I'm so thankful for that. But yeah, I mean, as you can imagine, we've learned a lot about one another on the road.
Right.
Just being in a car for 2,800 miles.
Yeah. That's kind of unique, because usually
sweet.
You learn about each other in the house. Like, all right, does he squeeze the toothpaste tube from the bottom? Does he roll it up, or does he just kind of go for it, just wing it? And so those little idiosyncrasies we can kind of, get used to about each other. But then you took it on the road, man. You're a trooper.
Yep.
Y'all are doing amazing. That's cool stuff.
Yeah,
That's really getting to know
man.
one another. Yeah, for sure. All right,
so it's been sweet as well.
Yeah.
If I may, it's been sweet as well. Just even afterward, after the shows, there may be a person or 2 people or a group that came to the show and may not really know Christ, or may not know the gospel, or there might be a brother or sister in Christ who came and is just in need of encouragement. That to be able to open up the scriptures to encourage someone alongside my wife, and to have her there pulling out her Bible and saying, check out this passage, or reading this passage, it is just immensely encouraging.
Wow. Power couple, a Christian power couple, man. That's awesome. So I've got to talk with you about Yes, I Am. Have you noticed this thing just kind of skyrocket and gain popularity across the nation, or what?
Man, I don't think I really realized how wide the reach was until I started doing the Crowder shows, and just so many people would come up to me sharing about how Yes, I Am has impacted them. So it has been just pretty amazing to see what the Lord has done with Yes, I Am.
Yeah. Now, I was taking a look at some of the behind the scenes on that particular song. We service our music through GoPlay MPE. So I was over there, and it was talking about how Yes, I Am has you dancing along for the very first, from the very first note. It goes on through here, and it talks about kind of the inspiration behind the song. After sharing the story of how God's grace reached and transformed me, we decided to write a song with the same themes of forgiveness, salvation, and joy in Christ. And it talks about it being a vibrant track. How did that all come together? I mean, how did this song start? Was it just this idea? You had these ideas. Did you co-write this? How exactly did this song come together?
Yeah, so I've been working with these 2 guys out in Nashville, Jeff Soyka and Ben Glover, and they're just very, very close friends. But I met them honestly not that long ago. It's like the end of last year.
Wow.
And so I'm in the studio with them. We're you know, getting to know one another, and I'm sharing my testimony with them for the first time. You know, that this story about how, as I'm pursuing a pop music career as an unbeliever, living for my own glory, dead in my trespasses and sins, the Lord delivers His gospel to me. This message that though God is holy and just and must judge sin, He has extended His hand of grace and mercy in the person and work of Jesus Christ, so that all who would turn to Him in humble faith would be saved, would be forgiven their sin, adopted as children of His, and made to inherit eternal life. And I just started sharing about how this message, how the person of Christ changed my life entirely. And so this story about God's grace not only saving but transforming a person in an ongoing way, namely transforming me, really inspired us in that particular session to just write a song about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, I've noticed that you've kind of been hinting at another song out there. I've noticed a few videos of you on stage singing this kind of a softer song, getting a little deeper, I think. And so I've got to ask you, what's next for Christian Paul? You got new music coming out, a new single for radio, you working on the album. What's next?
All of the above.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, all of the above. I don't know how much I can say yet, and that's
Okay.
not because things are super secret.
Right.
It's just because we're still in the process of choosing songs,
Okay.
and choosing which ones are going to go out. But I am working. You know, we have a lot of songs in the vault we're trying to sift through right now, and I think there are a handful, even like the one that you mentioned, I posted up on socials.
Yeah.
The ballad type one that I'm particularly excited about. So.
Wow. Good stuff, man. Well, I thank you so much for carving out some time for us. It's not every day we get an artist here on the show, so I really appreciate it, man. Thank you for making time for us today.
Oh man, like I said, it's a privilege. Thank you.
All right. Well, that is Christian Paul. You can hear his song, Yes I Am, right here on 88.5 JFM. And if you have any more questions for Christian, please go ahead and post them in the comments on our socials. We're live here on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. So share it with as many people as possible. Let's let people know about this Alabama native, Christian Paul. All right, man. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to get us back to our weather and word of life, and we'll talk with you soon, okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
Hope to visit you guys.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring you out here sometime. Bring you up to Gunnersville, Alabama. You'll enjoy this big lake we got out here beside us.
Let's do it, man.
All right, sounds good. All right, let me get this break started. And then we can chat a little more right here on the socials if you like. All right?
Let's do it, dude.
All right, cool. So I got some spots running now. Dude, can I just tell you how much fun it is being able to sit here and encourage people? I can't imagine what it's like standing on a stage and singing these truths of the gospel and watching people's lives be changed. Dude, you get to see that on a first-hand basis with a crowd of people. I sit in a studio by myself. Well, it's like I'm crazy. I'm talking to myself on a microphone. Is anybody listening? That question's always there. But man, what's it been like watching people's lives kind of be transformed? God using you to do that.
Yeah, man. It is. It's a privilege to get to be a conduit of God's truth, and to get to open up the scriptures with people. And oftentimes I only get 5 minutes with someone, or if I'm fortunate, maybe I'll get half an hour or so with a group of people, or a few people after the show, or after we break down merch. And so I'm not often getting to see the life change happen if the Lord does grant that. However, I am getting to plant the seed, and so I may plant, or I may water, or someone else may come along and water. But like Paul writes in 1 Corinthians, the Lord grants the growth. So it's neither I who plant or another who waters, who is ultimately significant. It's the Lord who,
That's right.
in His sovereign, gracious work, chooses to grant that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, those conversations are always so sweet. Whether I'm talking to the unbeliever who doesn't know Christ, or I'm talking to the believer who sometimes I'll leave being the one that was encouraged, to be honest. But,
Yeah, I got you. And I know that whenever somebody comes up to me, say I'm at a concert and we've got the radio station booth there, and somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I really appreciate what you do." Man, that blindsides you sometimes. That people, are listening. That people understand what you're trying to do. That they get something out of it. Like the whole slogan around here at
That's
the
right.
station is "Making your day better," and that's what we're trying to do. Whether it's through the content we
Yeah.
bring on the radio or through contests, giving away stuff, it's all a blast.
Right.
But to know that it's touching somebody's heart, it makes it all worth it. And so,
Yes.
to know, like you said, that you're a conduit that God is using to reach people, there's nothing like it in the world.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I hope you have many, 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 many more years of doing that, man. Because I know it. Now, you've been at this for a little while already, because nobody just hops on the scene and charts. So you've been up to this for how long before Yes, I Am really got up there?
So I was in pop music for, oh man, I'd say 6 years.
Okay.
Yep. And from the boy band days to when I signed my solo deal,
Yeah.
I'd say it's about 6 years with a hiatus in between there where I was still writing music in my bedroom.
I got you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty fresh to Christian music. So the Lord saved me, probably late 2019. I ended up leaving pop music early 2020. And it wasn't until 2021 that I got to begin like professionally pursuing making and releasing Christian music.
Yeah.
So
Wow. That's a fun story, man. God got a hold of you and things changed and you came out of the pop and you're like, "Hey, I want to do this for Jesus." That's awesome.
That's right.
That's awesome. All right. Well,
Yeah,
I thank you so much for your time. I don't want to take any more of it. I know you got things to do. So thanks for opening up, letting us all learn a little bit more about Christian Paul.
Man, I'm honored. Seriously, thank you for having me.
All right. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.
You as well, brother.